Hi, this is Mrs. Dedecker here again to show you how to create a column chart in Microsoft Excel. There's many ways to launch Excel. You can go either in the Start menu, you can find it here, or in All Programs under Microsoft Office, or you can go simply back onto the desktop. I'm going to launch it right from here. Once you're in Excel, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to look at your assignment sheet, and it says to click in cell A1 and you're to enter the title of your graph, which in this case is a favorite candy column chart by Mrs. Dedecker in 6th grade. So I'm just going to quick type that in, and then again, you click on a column that you would want to expand by just clicking right in the column A. And as you see, you can hover over in between the two columns, A and B, and you're able to actually click and drag it over so it's bigger. And the next thing I want you to do is look at step number 3, and it's asking you to click in cell A2, and you're going to put in the title of your description. In this case, we're going to put favorite candy. And Excel is kind of nice. It actually helps you by, if you've repeated a column, it helps you by trying to retype it for you. And I don't want the rest of this, so I'm going to just simply press my delete button and it'll go away. And then I can go to column B2 and I want to type in number of students for my second column. And again, here my column is a little short, so I just want to make it a little bit wider. So I'm going to click and drag as soon as I see that double arrow. And now I'm ready to start typing in my data. And the data here is going to be all the favorite candy choices for the students in my class. So I'm going to type in the first one, which is in step number 3 in your assignment sheet. You can start to type in all the different titles. So here we have Starburst, Skittles, Nerds, chocolate, and lastly red licorice. Next, I can enter the actual number of students that favored those particular candies. So in this case, Starburst, we had 20 students like that particular kind, and for Skittles, we had 5, and for Nerds, we had 15 people, and then for chocolate, we had 8, and lastly for red licorice, we had 12. Now we basically have our whole table, and we can click the entire table, only this time you're only going to click starting in A2, and you can do the little trick I told you about in in the pie chart example. You're just going to click in that first column and hold in the shift key, and you can click on that last column where the 12 is, and it'll automatically select your table. So this is all we want to select it. We don't want to select this title here. We just want to select our data, column data. And once we select the entire table, or the majority of it, we're going to go into our chart wizard icon. It looks just like a chart here. Actually, it looks like the column chart we're about to create. So I'm going to click on the chart wizard, and it's going to come up with standard types and custom types. We want to stay in standard types, and we're going to select the chart subtype of clustered columns. So it must say clustered column. That's part of the rubric, so you want to select that, and then click next. And here, this chart looks pretty good. It looks pretty much what I want, so I don't need to change anything. So I'm just going to click next. And now I'm in the chart wizard step 3 of 4, which is my chart options. The first thing I want to do is in my titles tab here, I want to actually enter in my chart title, which is this favorite candy column chart by Mrs. Dedecker. 6th, if you're smart, you could actually have saved that by doing Control C, which I had done. So now I have highlighted that chart title, and now I've entered it automatically into my chart title here. And then x-axis, just a little hint, this kind of helps me for remembering which is my x-axis and which is my y. If you think of y going up, the y-axis is these numbers going up, so then the description would go there. And the x-axis is actually horizontal and kind of goes back and forth kind of on the bottom. So the x-axis here, I want to type in, this is actually candy down here, so I want to just type in candy. And then here for my y-axis, up here, the numbers going up are actually the number of students. So now once we have that, then I want to show you something. Sometimes too much information is too cluttered. So I want to tell you here, this actual number of students legend here is really superfluous. Like, we really don't need that. So I want to turn off that legend, because essentially I have my description down here. This is my candy, and this is my number of students going up the side here. So I want to click on the legend tab, and I just want to uncheck the show legend. So now I have my chart taking up the whole page, and it looks nicer. So now I'm going to click next. And again, I want to make sure that you've selected as object in the sheet. It should already be selected. Then you can click finish, and your chart will appear into your spreadsheet. And the first thing I want you to do is just click and drag this over so it's just underneath your data, and makes it easier for printing. And the first thing I want you to do is click off of it so it's not selected. You see how it's not selected? Now we can print our charts. So we can do File and then Print. And in here, a lot of you would probably have this as your default. You want to drop down that drop box, and you want to make sure that you select Student, and then and make sure there's paper in there. And then you need to do nothing more. It should actually print just fine. So you press your OK, and it'll say that it printed. We'll hear the printer. And then the last thing I want you to do is save your charts. So save File, Save As. And we're going to drop this down. You got to make sure you're looking for the network. So network here, it's usually the G drive. And then you look for your grade level. If you happen to be in 7th, you're going to click on 7th, 5th, or 8th. I'm going to pretend I'm in 6th grade, so I'm going to double click the 6th grade folder. And then within the 6th grade folder, I have a folder set up already for column chart 6, and I'm going to double click that. And then I want to type in my last name, first initial, and then dash column chart, and then I'm going to press save. And if you get where you've already saved it and you're saving it again, make sure you click the yes to make sure it overlays it for you. So now I've saved my chart, and we're all done. Thanks.